Welcome back to Comics, the podcast where we look at two comics each week. Marvel Comics is starting us off with Uncanny X-Men 130, the first appearance of Dazzler.
$5 comic. Wow.
Well, this is a reprint. So this is from 1980, but this was a facsimile that they put out in the last year.
Okay.
So I think normally the first appearance of Dazzler fetches a pretty high price. She is the first disco superhero.
And they are coming out with a movie, aren't they? Like soon?
Well, I think there were rumors of her character appearing. I'm not sure if there's anything confirmed. There was speculation online that Taylor Swift should play Dazzler, but I don't think that has any grounding in
that
actual casting decisions.
What I'm thinking about, yeah.
I like the lights that they put on the letters.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is a John Romita Jr. cover.
I like the Nightcrawler is dabbing.
He's dabbing. He was out of his time. So yeah, it looks like a new comic because we got this barcode rated T. We got the new Marvel logo. That didn't exist back in 79 or 80. It says 79 there, and then the inner cover says copyright 80. So this is a facsimile edition I picked up recently to just, we've got so many issues around this era. It's nice to plug some of the holes. And this is Dazzler, the Uncanny X-Men Dazzler.
Vibrant colors.
I know, it's on the glossy paper instead of the newsprint that they would have had in the original.
It really reminds me of Gotham, you know?
Well, it's not. It's New York. So this is Delano Street. Probably like Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It's weird they'd pick his middle name.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his middle name? Or does he have a...
Franklin
Delano Roosevelt? You ever meet people that go by two names?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm John Paul Smith. You're not John?
Or Paul?
No, John Paul Smith. So it's hardly the sort of neighborhood where you'd expect to see a Rolls Royce at midnight, even one owned by the Uncanny X-Men. Delano Street in Lower Manhattan, in its heyday, this was one of the busiest manufacturing centers in New York. The businesses are closed now, crumbling. Only junkies and derelicts live here full time.
And Dazzler and Nightcrawler.
So this is Phoenix version of Jean Grey. I think this issue is after the initial Phoenix saga where Jean Grey died and was resurrected by the Phoenix Force in their spacefaring adventures, I believe. This is before the Dark Phoenix saga.
Okay.
So she has like a lingering Phoenix power, and she wears Phoenix-colored clothing during the day, green and yellow, because you got to wear the same colors as your costume.
Every day. Got to prove who you are.
And the X-Men have been split into two teams. This is the New York team. They're on a mission to find one mutant that Cerebro had detected last issue. There's another contingent of X-Men that went to Chicago to pick up a second mutant.
Oh, who are they getting?
Well, it's left up to I'd give you one guess based on the cover. But I don't know who the second one is in Chicago.
Right, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay.
But the New York, we got Dazzler. So we've got our team of three who are leaving the Rolls Royce.
Of course, it's Scott.
Yeah, and he alludes to the fact that he was leading the X-Men until recently. So I think Professor X, in this panel, she says Professor X returned and reassumed control of the X-Men. So I think he was in space with the Shi'ar or something like that. But our team of three is being surveilled by these Hellfire Club goons who have the creepy, like rectangular boxes cut out of their face masks.
Yes, those are the worst.
So we get a little rundown of their powers, and they're what you would expect for Nightcrawler and Cyclops, but Jean Grey, aka Marvel Girl, aka Phoenix, extremely high-range telepathic / telekinetic, full potential unknown, handled with extreme care. So she's kind of the wild card now that she has this additional power set. And did you know that Nightcrawler can become almost invisible in deep shadow because of his dark features?
No.
So he also has unusually dexterous hands and feet. Must be because he's got 3 fingers. Makes him more dexterous.
Yeah, I guess if you're used to
I
it,
don't
but
know.
that's maybe they're long and
He's got
grippy.
an extra joint or something.
Yeah.
So they tell Nightcrawler, why don't you just lurk in the shadows where you're nearly invisible, and we're going to go look for Dazzler. And so they do. They go into this abandoned-looking building, which Scott says, "Woo, what a stench. I'll bet this place hasn't been cleaned since it was built." And when they arrive inside, they see this Dazzler poster. When they arrive inside, they see a lot of activity going on. Our mutant could be male or female.
Oh, they
young
don't
or
know.
old. Yeah, that's
All
the
they
weird
know.
thing is it can pick up on your X gene, I guess, but it can't tell you any specific details about the person. We haven't a clue to its abilities. All we're sure of is that it's a single person, very powerful, and somewhere in this club. And tell me, Gene, is this where old discos go to die?
Oh, Scott.
So if this was 1980, that's probably near the end of the disco craze, right?
It didn't
I like how
last
they
long.
reprint the
ads
the
look
period
cool.
correct ads, yeah. Hubba Bubba, not my favorite gum.
No.
Runs out of flavor pretty quickly if I
It's
memory
a good
serves.
blower, but yeah, it does run out of flavor.
You got to have the right stance. So it says, from the first, both X-Men realized that the disco isn't a very nice one. Got this guy has a safety pin through his nose. It's kind of like a punk disco.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the hair. He's
No.
ooh.
That's not fashion, it's just an accident.
It's just what happened when he went to the bathroom.
So they're communicating telepathically to keep a low profile, and he tells her to scan the crowd with her powers. Meanwhile, Nightcrawler's getting bored keeping an eye out.
Oh, of course.
Little does he realize is that U-Haul is surveilling them, and they're talking to Mr. Shaw, who is the leader of the Hellfire Club. So it says, only a few blocks down 5th Avenue from where Avengers Mansion stands, a building that, like the van, is far less innocent than it appears. This is the legendary Hellfire Club. They're so goofy looking.
Yeah.
For 150 years, it has been one of America's oldest, most exclusive gentlemen's clubs. Its membership reads like a who's who of the nation's social, political, and economic elite. But within the club is an inner circle, open only to a select few, an inner circle who see the club as an avenue to achieving power. One member of this inner circle is a man Jean Grey has come to know as Jason Wingard. Shaw, 2 of the X-Men who Rhodey faces, are the oldest, most experienced, most dangerous members of the team. They're not to be taken lightly. Neither is Sebastian Shaw. I didn't build a billion-dollar empire from nothing by making mistakes, Wingard, or by underestimating my opponents. You've done pretty well against the X-Men so far. Yes, but to capture them all? I'll believe it when I see it, Shaw. In the meantime, I'll continue my work on subverting Miss Grey and gathering her, of her own free will, into our fold. How's your plan progressing, by the way? Do you think you have a chance of success? Not think, Shaw, I know. The young lady hasn't realized it yet, but she's mind, body, and soul. As you said, I'll believe it when I see it. They hear from Emma Frost, the White Queen. So in this period, she's a villain, of course. In newer comics, I guess she's more heroic.
Okay.
She, I remember in the 90s, she kind of served the Professor X role for Generation X. Do you remember that comic?
Briefly, yeah.
Generation X, it was kind of like New Mutants, where they were teenagers and they were a new group of mutants, and some of them had real alienating powers. I think we might have a couple. I think Al had some when I was growing up, and maybe that's how I was exposed to it. Or I think Ethan Debelak was into that series as well. But I think some of the teenagers in that group had like really severe mutant, kind of like Nightcrawler, where they can't blend in. One guy had like an explosion in his lower jaw that was always going on, like it was just fire on the bottom of his face.
Whoa, no, I don't know if I remember that.
So anyway, this is
Shoot.
White Queen way back when she's just a villain, and she's captured Storm, Wolverine, and Colossus. She said, "Get in your underwear. Get in this cage." She also has Professor X strapped up to this machine that's subduing him. So 800 miles to the west, in a massive industrial complex on the outskirts of the Windy City, Emma Frost, the White Queen, throws back her head and laughs. It couldn't be better. As you can see, Colossus, Wolverine, Storm, and the X-Men's mentor Charles Xavier himself are all quite helpless. Xavier is under electro-sleep sedation, while the inhibitor fields built into their cages keep the others from using their powers. Very good. What about the Neo-Mutant they sought? She was the one that got away. Her name is Catherine Pride. She's a child. We don't yet know her powers.
Oh, good.
We needn't worry about her, though. I think I can persuade her father to enroll in my Massachusetts Academy. After all, it is one of the most prestigious private schools in the country. And once she's there, she's ours for the taking. As the two villains talk, no one in the vast holding chamber notices a sudden slight stir in the air that heralds the unorthodox entrance of Kitty Pryde. I did it again. I thought real hard, and I walked right through that wall like it wasn't even there.
This is the beginning of Kitty.
So this is not long after her character's been introduced.
What a jerk.
I know. It's a weird haircut, too.
It's
like all his hair fell down to the sides of his heads.
No more ears, only hair.
Okay, I've snuck my way into here. What the heck do I do now? So she's not actually a member yet?
Okay.
She's just getting a grip on how her powers work. We actually get a little recap here from last issue.
Wow.
Only hours ago, it had seemed like just another ordinary day in the life of a kid whose world was falling apart. Her parents were splitting up, and Kitty herself was being plagued by a series of steadily worsening, skull-crushing headaches. She came home from dance class in time to be introduced to Emma Frost. It was dislike at first sight.
Whoa.
Her reaction to the X-Men when Professor Xavier arrived to try to recruit her for his school for gifted youngsters was quite the opposite. Wolverine was spooky, Colossus a real hunk, and she and Storm became instant friends. The four young people were enjoying ice cream sodas at a nearby malt shop while the professor talked with Kitty's parents when they were attacked by goons in battle armor. The fight was brief and fierce. The X-Men thought they'd won, until, without warning, the White Queen's telepathic attack turned their minds inside out. When more goons carried the unconscious X-Men aboard a waiting hovercraft, Kitty followed them. I'd have my head examined, thinking I can free the X-Men all by myself, but I've got to do something. Storm is my friend. I can't desert her or the others. So she creeps up on Storm's cage, and Storm is all dazed by this telepathic nonsense. And she says, "Who, Kitty? Shh, keep it down, for crying out loud. Someone will hear you." "I came to help. What can I do?" And Storm is saying, "The inhibitor field must be affecting my mind, as well as my powers. When we were captured, we were searched to the skin. They took my lockpicks, but, aha! They missed this tag, worked into the fabric of my costume. Miss Frost, there's someone by the cages. It's a kid. Kitty, take this. Find a telephone and call the number. I'm giving you. Call the number I'm giving you. Tell whoever answers what's happened. Run for it, little one. Get out of here." I like how nobody notices her except for this random guy.
Right?
Isn't Emma Frost supposed to be a telepath? Wouldn't she notice like a new consciousness entering the room? Maybe she's got to be paying attention. Kitty bolts for the back of the room, heading away from the exit doors, the White Queen's agents in hot pursuit. "You're wasting your time, kid. You're charging into a dead end." Little do they know that she can plunge through the floor.
They didn't know her powers.
So Emma's saying, "Go get her before she escapes and ruins the whole plan." Get your comics Marvel style.
It's a dweeby Hulk.
He's a little dweeby. And meanwhile, back at the disco, Jean Grey has just finished her second circuit of the crowded dance floor when she encounters Jason Wingard, who, when they make eye contact, her whole reality changes. The 20th century gives way to the 18th, a lower Manhattan disco, to a burned-out church in a woodland glade that will one day become part of Fifth Avenue. Unlike the previous time slips, Jean doesn't try to fight her way out of the past. This time she accepts what's happening, as she's led to the altar, and her waiting husband-to-be, as always, his manly beauty takes her breath away. So he's an illusionist. I think Jason Wingard is isn't he Mastermind or something is his code name? He can create illusions. So
Creepy, these people in the Hellfire Club. If you got an envelope in the mail tomorrow that was your invitation, would you go?
no, I don't think I'd go to anything. If an invitation arrives in the mail, like the person doesn't know me enough to call me or text me, it can't
Well,
be anything
okay.
good.
But if it were fancy and really expensive looking and...
Okay, you convinced me. If it's fancy. So they're getting married, and then he declares her the Black Queen. Long may she reign. And she quickly snaps out of this. She's kind of thinking, like, did one of my ancestors, like, know Jason Wingard? I know.
Gross.
Sebastian Shaw's creepy looking. We've got some cool Star Wars toys that being advertised. There's a droid factory.
Nice.
I don't know if I'd call what the Jawas do a droid factory. They kind of like kidnap them and sell them to other people. But
yeah, they probably, fix up the ones with potential with parts from the,
that's true.
duds.
It's like a chop shop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little square
everybody's favorite character, Hammerhead.
Right?
Boy, I hope I get the Hammerhead action figure for Christmas. I had the Hammerhead action figure, but the Kenner ones from the 90s. Scott, let me explain. So he's all miffed, of course, that she was kissing some other guy when they're interrupted by the announcer saying that Dazzler will now take the stage. The room goes black and deathly still. Then the house band starts a pounding rhythmic intro, and she is there. A vision in skin-tight silver, silhouetted in an awesome light show that shifts in color, intensity, and position to match her emotions as she sings. It's a sight, a performance that no one watching will ever forget. Wow, I know zilch about disco, but this lady is good. My watch, the alarm's buzzing. The microcerebro scanner has finally found our neo-mutant, and it's Dazzler. I don't know about this neo-mutant phrase that they keep using, I guess.
Yeah.
Why just say that they're new?
New mutant.
Outside, maybe this is when New Mutants had existed, and they don't want to confuse people and say, "Oh, are they on the team New Mutants, or are they just
right? That's true.
A recent mutant?" Outside, the night is still quiet, and for Nightcrawler, still deadly dull. He's wondering how much longer Scott and Jean are going to take when the Rolls car phone starts to ring. They have a car phone back in the 80s, 1980. We weren't expecting any calls. Wonder who it could be, he thinks to himself. Probably Professor X checking up on us. Boy, was he mad when I told him I was no longer using my image inducer. God, or fate, or dumb luck made me what I am. And I won't hide anymore, not even for the X-Men. So apparently he had been using some kind of machine that made him look normal.
Oh, shoot.
This was in X-Men 97, so this was quite a while ago. So she's calling from the White Queen's phone, which is next to the box of machine parts. And she's saying, "You gotta come help me." She doesn't even know Nightcrawler at this point. They become friends later on in the series. But he's interrupted by another one of these battle-suited minions. He tries to teleport away when we're interrupted by an ad for Rom Space Knight, one of your favorite characters.
Yeah.
He strikes from outer space, cleaving through the sky like a fiery sword of justice, hurtling earthward on his dread mission of cosmic vengeance, and nothing can stop him.
See, they make him sound so
Find him before he finds you.
relentlessly on the trail of vengeance, and it's like he's got a soul, and he's very tender.
Yeah, he's a little more sensitive than this ad. They're just trying to make him sound cool, though.
I know, because
Children.
they have to.
We know all your powers, and we're equipped to deal with them. So he blasts Nightcrawler with a sonic beam, and he can't concentrate enough to use his powers.
Dang it.
This is actually a test sequence from the Danger Room we saw in X-Men 125. And similarly, they use another Danger Room beam that Cyclops thinks, hey, that's from the Danger Room too. So maybe they gathered some intel on their training or something like that, or somebody betrayed them. So all the light shows going off, meanwhile, when two of the armored guards crash through the skylight and try to subdue Cyclops and Phoenix. So they use
instantly in their costumes.
That's what part of the Phoenix's power. Cyclops says, she transformed my street clothes into my costume just like that. I'm beginning to wonder if there's any limit to Phoenix's power. And if there isn't, how much longer can Jean keep it under control?
Ooh.
So they use some kind of energy ball. That's a ball of energy. It envelops and she crumples. And they use a glop that has ruby quartz, the same material he uses in his visor, so he can't blast through the glop. However, Dazzler sees what's going on. She's thinking, this is insane. These refugees from Starship Troopers seem to be after me. I should hot-foot it out of here. But at the moment, I'm too darn mad. Chuckles, I had one dynamite debut going, till you jokers crashed the gate. Now it's ruined. Huh? And for that sucker, you gonna pay. Light, in all its infinite variety, bursts around the hapless man, instantly flooding his eyes, his mind, his soul. His brain can't cope with the sensory overload. It short-circuits and turns itself completely off.
Whoa. Okay,
She's powerful.
Yeah.
You thought she could just make some shiny lights.
That's kind of what I was remembering.
I knew that's what you thought.
Oh, there's Rom again.
There's Rom the toy. Did you ever have that when you were
No.
a kid? I bet you wanted it, though.
That would have been super cool.
He has an energy analyzer that lights up bright red and makes strange electronic sounds. Pretend it allows Rom to see if creatures are good or evil. Pretend.
I can't.
Commanding you to.
I can't.
Rom's translator makes eerie electronic sounds and lights up. Imagine Rom has the ability to communicate with any intelligent being in the universe. Rom's weapon is the neutralizer. It flashes and makes electronic zapping sounds. Pretend it sends evil creatures to the shadow zone.
That's weird that they're saying, imagine, pretend.
Well, they don't want to sell it with people thinking, I can actually analyze energy with this child's toy. We'll be rich. We'll rule the world. He's catatonic. I didn't mean to dazzle him so hard. I've never intentionally used my powers to hurt anyone before. I didn't know.
Do it again.
The computer didn't lie, babe. You are powerful. Shoot, the other one.
Shoot.
Consider yourself lucky my employers want you alive. I figured the life of a disco queen would be exciting, but this is ridiculous. Gotta keep moving. I don't know what that zap beam is, and I'd really rather not find out. Dazzler's attack decked the goon with psionic scrambler. I'm free to use my powers again. So now that she can escape from that energy ball, she frees Cyclops. He makes short work of these two, though the one who's grappling with Nightcrawler falls through the ceiling. And I like this image of the helmet.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Juggernaut-like helmet getting pried from the guy's head. So he's wearing the mask with the creepy holes and a helmet. He's wearing double helmets, basically.
Ew.
Still doesn't help him. Maybe 3 next time.
Right?
Looks like it's open season on mutants again. How do you feel, Nightcrawler? Black and blue all over, but I'm that anyway. Things are worse than you think, Cyclops. The X-Men in Chicago have also been attacked, and they and Professor X have been captured. Quickly, Nightcrawler tells Cyclops what Kitty Pryde had told him. How do we know this kid is on the level? She could be luring us into an ambush. Hey, hunk, you Avengers or something? You mind cluing me in on what's been going on down here? We're X-Men, miss. Call me Dazzler, darling. That's my name. That's what I do, dazzle people. Have you ever wondered where your light powers come from? Nope. Just thought it was normal. You're a mutant, Dazzler. You have powers and abilities that set you apart from the rest of humanity. And as you've just seen, there are people who will stop at nothing to capture or kill you. Are you serious? Look around, Dazzler. You tell me. For your own safety, I think you better come with us.
Yeah, that club is worse for wear. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, we don't often see Mr. Fantastic doing a solo adventure, much less a Hostess Twinkies sponsor. Right. Mr. Fantastic in A Passion for Gold. Gold Digger, a nefarious villain with a taste for gold and power to make himself intangible. Face to face with... What? That's a weird... So he's got Kitty Pryde power, but he's also gold themed.
Right.
The incredible Mr. Fantastic. I always think it's weird when his body gets all goopy to absorb bullets.
Yes. Ugh.
I'll let those blasts stretch me backwards far enough for them to lose their momentum, Gold Digger, and send them right back where they came from. Nothing can harm an intangible man, Mr. Fantastic. Haha, not even you can get your hands on me.
Yeah, but what if he wrapped himself around and around and around, keeping part of his arm in him? He'd eventually get tired, right?
Yeah,
Because
and then he'd have to go tangible, and then his arm would be poking through his body.
Oh.
I think this is a more peaceful solution. He's right. Instead, I'll get my hand on something that will cause Gold Digger to deactivate his intangible powers. Hey, Hostess Twinkies cakes.
He reaches all the way back.
That's what I'm thinking. How does he know? He's like grabbing all sorts of crap because he can't see, causing all sorts of accidents and stuff. Your taste for gold goodness made you vulnerable, Gold Digger. The Hostess Twinkie cakes are worth it. They're almost as great as you are. It's very complimentary.
Yeah.
The Hostess cake becomes the same exact color as his body.
Ew.
You get a big delight in every bite. Hostess Twinkie cakes.
And he puts his pinky out. He's such a
I
gentleman.
wonder how many different variations there are of the Hostess ads. I'd like to see all of them back
Fruit
to back.
pies.
That's what we'll do for April 1st next year. April
Yeah.
1st, we'll just do a compilation of nothing but Hostess.
Hostess ads.
They need to bind them into a book and have the complete Hostess ads.
Ah, that's who.
So as they reach the street, a series of explosions shatter the top floor of the building. The disco, inside, quick! I'll protect the car from falling debris with a telepathic shield. Cyclops, I'm not picking up our attackers' thoughts anymore. They just cut out. I was planning to have Jean telepathically interrogate one of those goons. I guess their masters wanted to make sure I couldn't. Nice people. They seem to know an awful lot about the X-Men. Too much, but how? Who are we up against? What are they after? Cyclops, a man waiting at the corner. It's the man Jean kissed in the disco. Is he part of this puzzle too? Or simply my rival for Jean's affections? The first I can deal with. The second, I'm not so sure. Either way, I don't like him. The Rolls headlights touch Jason Wingard for a moment, throwing a shadow across the wall behind him. Cyclops automatically notes the image. But his mind, preoccupied with a host of far more pressing concerns, doesn't register it. Perhaps one day he will remember and recognize who he passed this night. By then, however, it may well be far too late for him, for the X-Men, and most importantly, for the woman he loves. Ha 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 ha. It's Cyclops, Phoenix, Nightcrawler, and Dazzler to the rescue. But will they reach Chicago in time to save Kitty Pryde? Find out in Run for Your Life.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, nice classic
Introduction.
issue from Chris Claremont and John Byrne with a John Romita Jr. cover. The colors on this cover are so weird. It makes it look modern. I know it's on the glossier paper stock because it's a reprint. But some of this washed out stuff really looks... It doesn't look like the coloring you see.
No, it's not typical. No.
It's very...
Which would have made it stand out really.
Thought it'd be good Easter colors.
Yeah, yeah.
So you did a very unique comic.
A very Easter themed comic.
Yeah, very Easter. It's neither DC nor Marvel. It's both. It's amalgam.
It's both. I thought
I was so excited for this idea when it came out.
The cover
when
is
I was a kid.
Fantastic.
I know. And only less than $2 for this issue. Gosh, comics have gotten expensive.
Yeah.
This was by Larry Hama, who is famous, I think, for doing Punisher stuff and G.I. Joe.
The first page is
1996,
insane.
so I would have been about 9.
Yeah, you would have really loved this version of Wolverine.
His claws have like extra serrations in them.
Ugh. And two mentally dark characters combined. It's crazy. That's just insane. That coming at you. His cape is full of life. His claws are full of life.
Todd McFarlane inspired with the cape, Spawn, and the way he did Batman.
Lots of different onomatopoeias. Spang.
Wee.
Vip.
Vip. You don't see Vip too much.
You don't see Vip.
Of course, Nick.
Of course, Nick. Yes. So yeah, that's crazy looking. Batman with fangs. Does Wolverine have fangs?
No, I don't think so. I think he's just got canines like a person.
Yeah.
Batman.
So, black and white and red all over. Doesn't take a detective to figure out where your clue is pointing to. Hyena.
So we have an amalgamated villain
Look
here.
at this dude.
So that's clearly Joker.
Joker and
Sabretooth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but how does...
I guess for Wolverine, that makes sense.
Right, but how does the Gotham Gazette printing plant fit into your nefarious scheme?
Bracca, bracca, bracca.
I know! And he's shooting and he's deflecting, and that's for me to know and you to find out, Dark Claw. Aren't you curious as to why I dropped you a hint about where I was going to strike next? Not much. I don't expect you're going to tell me anyway. He looks insane.
Yeah, I kind of like that character design. He's like a muscular Joker.
And it looks like and sounds like he can take a beating.
Yeah, there's blood.
There's blood.
Around, so
yeah.
I wonder if they both have the healing factor of their respective characters or not.
Yeah, Darkclaw does. Yeah, he talks about it, and they continue to fight as employees run out. That would be horrifying.
Yeah.
And so he gets Darkclaw down, and as he's running away, you never want to play, and he's shooting, but that's insane looking. Like he's skipping out, laughing maniacally.
That's a weird posture.
And good thing I have a mutant healing factor. Keep your eye on the horizon and check your 6, Sparrow. So we've got a Sparrow now.
So Jubilee and Robin mixed together.
Good job,
it's
yeah.
Very like the Robin from Dark Knight Returns. That's a girl. That's
yeah.
what it reminds me of.
The hyena is heading for the roof, so be prepared to cover me. Roger that. And save a piece of that giggling geek for me. Eat frolic frags, Cape Man.
Frolic frags.
Frolic frags.
That's what he calls his grenades, I guess.
Wow. I thought you wanted to play. Oh, I do. But how about tag? And he's got him. And there is blood. He does draw blood. But look he's got Sabretooth's claws as well as being Joker crazy.
It's like his claws are extended, he's punching him, and that's all that happens. I feel like he'd cut his dang head off.
Right. I know it. So he goes, my choice. How about tag? Am I it? And look at this.
What a splash page.
Yeah. You're about to be a was. And then we've got our introduction of Ryder and Through a Glass Darkly.
Drawn by Jim Ballant. So I'm not familiar with Jim Ballant, but I like the art.
Yeah. In this pose, it's like they're dancing. They've got a tango, a very intense tango going on. Oh my, how uncharacteristically droll. Have we been staying up late and watching the Comedy Channel? Spack, pop, Spock. This is the end of your stand-up routine, Hyena. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't just cut your throat and drop you into traffic. No alternative side of the street, body dumping on weekdays. Week? Oh, I've got a good one. How's about my pack shows up and blows you away? So then all of a sudden all this shooting comes up. And step back, boss, we'll waste his face.
Those piercings.
Yeah.
They're like the Reavers or whatever from the Punisher issue that we did.
Yeah.
Ooh. Like.
Keep blasting. He's running out of roof. No more roof. Darkclaw, gonna fall down, go boom.
I think this is a music ad. You don't see too many of those these days.
No,
you don't. A new breed of gothic. Metallica meets Sisters of Mercy. Awesome. From Metal Hammer. It gives it 4.5 fists out of 5. Paradise Lost, Draconian Times. Featuring the first single, Enchantment.
I don't know that I would recognize it.
And a Primus ad. Tales from the Punch Bowl. Enhanced CD. Look at those graphics.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of game you can play. That's fun.
Wow. Oh, an ad for Best Buy. Crazy. I'm no putty tat, Hyena. You can say that again, old man. Don't call me that. Look, you stuck me with the Sparrow when I wanted to call myself Death Urge Overdrive. Sparrow is a perfectly good name. What are you doing? Coming around for a strafing run. Cook over the cyclic. Those mugs have missiles.
Oh, crap.
Heat seekers. How did you... Hang on. And then, yeah, that was close. Where's the SHIELD helicopter zooming off to, huh? Good question.
Oh, so they have S.H.I.E.L.D. in this universe as well.
Mm-hmm.
This must be the Huntress.
Good, yep.
But
Meanwhile,
who's she mashed up with, I wonder? Silver Sable or something?
let's see. Meanwhile, in the artsy, trendy section of Gothic, beep, 11:45 p.m. I've disabled the alarm system and I'm now entering the penthouse loft of one Logan, techno wizard, painter, sportsman, and walking enigma.
He's a painter?
Yes.
That's weird.
Techno whiz, too. I am what appears to be in his studio. A profusion of large, bold canvases in his distinctive style, said by some critics to possess the fury of feral slashes.
Does he put paint on his claws? Do like a Jackson Pollock thing?
There are stairs. There are stairs that lead up to the master bedroom. According to what little there is in his dossier, Logan was an orphan raised in an institution in Edmonton, Alberta. So they're really mixing both existences. Then why does he have photos of himself as a child with what appears to be his parents standing in front of a luxury apartment building in Gotham? And what was he doing in Southeast Asia? And the other man in this photo is Creed. He was in the RCAF. There are no records. That means he knew the mysterious Mr. Creed H. Quinn before the project. Good Lord, those costumes. Logan is the Dark Claw. That's a
Reed
lot of
H.
costumes.
Quinn, Harley Quinn. You said Creed H. Quinn. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Creed H. Quinn before
Must be
the
related to Harley Quinn.
I totally missed out on that. And you are the Huntress, aka Carol Danvers.
Oh, that's an interesting mix.
A secret passage and elevator behind the closet wall. So that's how you get in and out. But how did you know who I was? I'm a detective, remember?
It was probably your claw-themed... Oh, she's asking him.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, he's kind of not that careful with his...
No, not at all. What else has your impertinent snooping uncovered? Not much. When I accessed your ultra file in the top secret archives, it turned out to be an elaborate fiction. Just how deep is your cover, Logan? As deep as your own, if you know that much about me. You used to run ops for some no-name, no-visible budget federal puzzle palace directorate.
Woo! That's a mouthful.
Yeah, directorate world. Oh, word was you went rogue. You're out in the cold, right? Running a long leash. You expect me to tell the truth?
I like this homage to the Weapon X series.
Oh, yeah. What do I do with you? If I blow you, I'm blown if I let you walk out of here. How did you tumble onto me anyhow? I wasn't out to track you down, Darkclaw. I was after the hyena. And the hyena's tracks have a way of crossing Logan's. Logan, Creed, and 4 others went into a secret Canadian project back when there was still an evil empire to battle. All the records of that project have been conveniently destroyed, except for a few fragments of notes by Professor Carter Nichols, which mentioned 2 scientists named Cornelius and Hines. I take it that something went terribly wrong at the project. Actually, the program was a resounding success. It produced exactly what it set out to produce. A remorseless killing machine devoid of all human compassion, a perfect weapon. They forgot one important thing about weapons. They're usually inert objects that can't get up off a table and do harm by themselves. Their mistake was in creating a weapon with an imagination.
How come he got weird liver spots? And like
Well,
a mask?
it's the saber cloth, I guess.
The saber tooth?
Yeah, maybe it's the tiger, or, saber-toothed tiger, kind of, I don't know. And their mistake was in creating a weapon with an imagination. That was you. No, I was the failure. Useless to them as a weapon, you see, because I possessed a conscience. Do you want to know the whole story, Huntress? Of course. Come with me. Don't panic.
That's how he gets to his lair. He
I know, he
falls
just-
down a big
Yes. He's like,
passageway.
don't panic on me, Miss Danvers. This is a pneumatic tube with an air cushion at the bottom.
Oh.
We are going deep below the bedrock of Gotham, down to a lair that only 2 other people have ever seen or even heard of. It's like, okay, let me change my underwear first.
Right.
Welcome to the Barrow. That portrait, it's the same one in your bedroom. Are they your parents? I was 5 years old when they were shot down in front of me by an armed robber. I was sent to live with my uncle in Alberta, up near Buffalo Wood. He was a Mountie. Some poachers ambushed him and left him to die in the snow. The RCMP sent me to a home run by nuns. As soon as I was old enough, I signed up for the Air Force. Royal Canadian Air Force Security. Creed was in the same outfit. That was the link. That's where you... Hey! What's this damaged bimbo doing in here? She's really spunky. I like her. She called in her markers at Langley and used her push at odd to access the banks of super craze under Maryland. Woo!
Dodd, I think
Woo.
it's Department of Defense.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, thank you. She was sniffing for Creed and came up with Logan. This is totally uncool and unacceptable. We can't let her walk out of here knowing about all of this. What do you want me to do, Sparrow? Take her out in the woods and lose her? Well, yeah. Get real, kid. Did you tie down the helicopter in the roof hanger? Tied down and secured. I see you already hacked your way into the typesetting computer at the Gotham Gazette. Piece of cake. The access code turned out to be Gutenberg. You did good, darling. Cheat. What are you looking for in the Gazette computer? When I tangled with the hyena at the printing plant, I noticed that Creed was wearing a static electricity discharge wire on his wrist. He wasn't there to plant a bomb at all. He was there to go inside the guts of a computer. The discharge wire is to prevent damage to the memory. Look at his mask.
I know.
It's really coolly carved. So why go to all that trouble to interfere with the typography of the newspaper? He's a real joker, Claw. Maybe he was messing with the headlines for the morning paper. Punch it up, Sparrow. Already punched. Awesome one. Was a rebus? The Gotham Gazette. AF1 plus NACN. AF1 is Air Force One, the president's plane. And NaCN is sodium cyanide, a deadly poison. The president is in Gotham, due to fly back to Washington in 20 minutes. Oddly enough, in 20 minutes. So they rushed to the airport and coming in with the, Dark Claw helicopter when the plane is asking for permission to take off. And in the tower, this guy's like, that thing didn't show up on radar. It must be running a 3rd generation passive ECM suite. But the words in his face don't, I don't know. It just struck me very
crazy.
odd thing to
Both of
say.
their expressions are a little funky looking.
So they try to get the plane to stop. And he's like, well, I can't. We're going too fast. We don't have enough runway. And we're going too fast.
It's got spittle coming out.
He's yelling so hard. And we've got
Good thing
another.
they put that warning in the Gazette so they could go foil his
In
crime.
20 minutes. They found it in 20 minutes. Oh, right. Tell the slut to take her shot. Nice. Go for it, Huntress.
That's harsh.
Yeah, women lifting women. I will as soon as your juvenile assistant gets the correct alignment. This is as good as it gets, Wilhelmina Tell. Been reading your cliff notes, huh? Just shoot. Bank away. I need to clear the rotors. He's intense. I like Darkly. Did you see that thing? It looked like the Clawcopter. Anybody can go bad or psycho, and Darklaw wasn't wound too tight to begin with. So it seems as he doesn't have a very good profile with the Defense Department. Gears retracting. Have to get it up into the well before the covers close and lock. He's climbing up the nose wheel. Good thing aircraft aluminum is no match for adamantium. I want the quarterback locked down tight in the tail of the plane. Sanderson, you check all the lavatories. This way, Mr. President. Will do. Who do you think it is? Security, he's in the cockpit. That would be insane.
Yeah.
That's an amazing. In a movie, that would be like where you go, yes. I'm here to warn you, the hyena is making an attempt on the president's life. The only costumed wacko I see around here is you, buddy. You fools! He's probably already on this plane. You don't know how? Freeze! Don't move an inch. I'm not the threat you have to search. Blow him away! Sanderson, I've cleared the lavatories. Or have you cleared the lavatories? I'm checking them now.
Oh, he's hiding in the toilet?
Of course. I mean, he's pure chaos. Look at his little bomb there.
It's got like a dog head or something?
Yeah, it's
That's weird.
With a mask and a very long
Seems
fuse.
like him.
Yes, yeah.
It's his personal bomb.
This is no way to get ahead, lad. This would probably put your career in the toilet. That is, if you weren't already dead. So yeah, there's no sanctity of life here. Surprise, surprise! Here's a little campaign contribution. I hope it doesn't exceed the guidelines. Grenade! Gas! Get the president down on the deck and strap him down. I'll deal with the hyena.
They really do make the president look like the president of that time.
Yeah. That old mutant healing factor is still going strong, eh? And you're still as crazed as ever. Crazy is as crazy does, Logan. I won. There's no way you can vent all this poison gas out of the plane in time to save the president. You lose, hyena. He's got his mask on, but he's got his claws out.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be pretty easy to puncture.
You forgot about the adamantium.
Oh.
Pathoom! The explosive decompression blew us both out of the plane and sucked out most of the poison. The president is saved, but you're not. Because you didn't bring a parachute, and I did. Better start flapping your arms, Logan. I wish I could do a crazy Joker laugh. He's falling, Sparrow. I see him. I hope that kid's got her timing down. I hope the old man's got his timing down. Did I do good? You did aces, kid. Now circle back and let me get another crack at the hyena. Next issue. This claw is crossbow. Ooh.
Well, that was pretty cool.
That's very cool.
So this was during the Marvel versus DC era. Do we have any of these comics that you remember?
I think this was the only one that I had at my place.
That might be fun to pull up some of the... So this was the amalgam line that they spawned out of this series, but the original series was not the amalgamated characters, just the regular characters fighting each other. So I think Batman in the main series actually fought Captain America.
Really?
Not Wolverine. And so their amalgamations don't necessarily line up with who they were fighting in the main series.
That's just too dark and too cool looking to pass up.
Oh yeah, that's a great cover. I love the detail on that gargoyle.
Yeah. Two good comics.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
Great graphics in both of them.
So 90s. This is definitely... I wasn't reading comics when this originally came out, so there's something about reading a comic from when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I think we might have had the Speed Demon, or maybe Al got it or something. It's Ghost Rider mixed with Flash.
Whoa!
And I remember Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate, or Doctor Strange Fate.
Wait a minute, we might have a Doctor Strange Fate.
That one sounds familiar.
Okay, I'm going to have to look closer.
So,
but Speed Demon.
We might have had JLX, so JLA and X-Men mixed together.
Crazy.
Yeah, it might be fun to pick some of those up and explore the Amalgam universe more. I think they're actually going to do another Marvel DC crossover this year. They've announced this year or next year. It's coming up soon, so it might be fun to compare it to the initial attempt. So yeah, if you enjoyed watching this, give us a comment and subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.